The BC Civil Resolution Tribunal has jurisdiction to hear small claims over disputes with airlines for things like delays, cancellations, and lost baggage. The tribunal did confirm to Consumer Matters for air passenger protection regulation related disputes not yet assigned to a tribunal member for adjudication. Those disputes have been put on hold as the CRT reviews the Supreme Court of Canada's decision. We also contacted the Office of BC's Attorney General asking for more details, but we were told because BC is in the middle of an election, the government is in a, quote, caretaker mode, and all government of BC communications are limited. Still, a statement was provided which said in part, the recent Supreme Court of Canada decision considers the application of two pieces of federal legislation that affect the compensation airline passengers are entitled to. This means the SCC decision on the application of this federal legislation may affect current or future CRT decisions relating to airline disputes. Regardless, impacted passengers say they are worried they'll have nowhere to turn if the BC Civil Resolution Tribunal decides it won't hear airline-related disputes in the future, especially when you consider right now the Canadian Transportation Agency is dealing with a backlog of about 80,000 air travel complaints.
Why have they stopped this when they're doing a lot of good rulings and they are very thorough? You know, they've gone against the airlines, but they've also gone against the passengers, laying out the facts and showing what the law says, etc., etc.
There is nothing that I can see in the Supreme Court of Canada's decision to affect the British Columbia Civil Resolution Tribunal's jurisdiction to hear these claims. What I'm concerned here is not simply about putting these claims on hold, but the lack of transparency about who, why, how put them on hold. Who was the decision maker? Whose decision it was? Did it come from some kind of higher order from some Attorney General of British Columbia? If so, on what ground? Why is anybody interfering with this proceedings?
Now, if there is an issue around jurisdiction, advocates hope the matter is dealt with in public so passengers and consumer advocates have an opportunity to make submissions and have their voices heard. As for when we'll have answers and how soon this issue will be resolved, that hasn't been announced yet. And if you have a consumer issue for me, you can email me at consumermatters@globalnews.ca.